everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Divine Diva, where my lovely friend Andrea is my guest for today. So, hi, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I would love for you to introduce yourself to the people that are watching.
Hi, I'm Andrea Wehlann, and I am a yoga instructor, a meditation teacher, a Reiki master. I have a degree in psychology and a diploma of social service work.
Mhm,
And it's my life's journey to share my stories of healing and love to help other people.
mhm. And
Thank
don't
you for
forget
having
you're
me.
an author as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a best-selling author, which
Yes.
is
Hello.
recent for me, but I'm so excited. It's been a lifelong dream and it's come true. So
Yeah,
hopefully I'm a reminder today that your dreams can come true, whoever's listening.
absolutely. Absolutely. You're a true role model for that. I honestly believe that.
Oh, thank you.
And in your view, what qualities does a divine diva have?
Ooh, I think a connection to the divine. And by the divine, I'll just break it down really simple, is the love in you. And it's also the meaning of namaste. So sometimes at the end of my yoga classes, I own Gangamoon Yoga in Beamsville, Ontario. And sometimes at the end of class, I'll say, let's just end with the meaning of namaste. And a lot of people say namaste, but they don't know what
Mhm.
it means. And it actually means that I honor that place in you that is of peace, of light, of truth, and of love. And
Mm,
when you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one.
mm,
That is what I believe is the divine diva within us all, is that little place of light and love within us.
mm. Yeah, to me, that namaste always means the light in me sees and honors the light in you.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
And I
And it's
truly
also a
believe.
practice in the book A Course in Miracles that I
Hmm.
practiced for a couple of years when I was transferring my thoughts from fear into love. There's one practice there, is just like you said, it says, the love in me salutes the love in you.
Hmm.
And I was waitressing at the time I was doing the course. And so everybody that walked through the door, I would practice the love in me salutes the love in you. The love in
Yeah,
me salutes the love in you. Yeah.
yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful quote, and I love A Course in Miracles. I love that.
Yeah. Did you
Mhm.
did you course too?
No, I didn't, but I've studied the work is Esther and Abraham Hicks, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen their work a lot, or her work, and she channels Abraham, of course. But yeah, it's very inspiring, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be here today without it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I met Marianne Williamson. Do you ever follow
Oh
her?
yeah, of
And
course.
so I met her in Toronto, I think 2 years ago. And I said to her, I wouldn't be here without you. And she said,
Mhm.
me too, the same. I
Oh,
was like,
beautiful.
oh,
The chills.
yeah. 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 It was just such a moment.
Hmm. And I would love to know, what was your divine journey like? How did you become the woman that you are today?
Hmm. Ah, gosh, you know, that's a big part of it, is finding A Course in Miracles. But it's I think experiencing from a young age a lot of dark experiences, a lot of pain, loneliness, despair, disappointment, isolation, feelings of hatred and sadness, and um, I think that was the bulk of it. And when I was finally ready to I felt that was only one path and there was one way out. And I think I felt that from what the media portrayed and what the newspaper said. And it's like, if you're a victim or if you feel these ways, there's only one way out, you just die. And I mean, this is growing up in the 70s, so there wasn't the internet and awakening and all these things. And from following that path and from attempting suicide and holding a knife to my wrist, something happened in that moment, and I could see that this was the lowest point I could get. And then what I heard was a word up. And I just knew that, yes, I could do this, but it didn't happen. And then from that moment, I knew there was another side. I knew there was something other than the darkness. And I
Hmm.
think I was just in university, so maybe 1920. And from then on, as I'm approaching my birthday, I was realizing last night that this is now almost half my life that I've spent chasing the light and chasing the love. But it was that defining moment of just absolute darkness and wanting to end my life that I realized that there's so much more. There's so much more. And
Yeah.
so that was
And
that.
you've written in your book, no matter how dark the stain,
Yeah.
for women in pain and the importance of honor. Yes, there you go. The importance
Yeah.
of honoring those feelings. So
Yeah.
yeah, and why is that so important?
Oh, I think um, suffering so much and feeling that pain, I don't want anybody else to feel that bad about their life. So yeah, maybe it's one of the nuggets of wisdom that you gain from being in the darkness is you don't want other people to feel that bad.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't know that I was really writing the book at the time. I thought it was just God gave me a gift of writing poetry. I started at age 7 and I wrote through every experience that was dark. And as I say dark, I mean the things that aren't love. And so metaphysics breaks down into two things, fear and love. So when I say dark, I mean, the things in life that you don't expect. You grow up innocent and then you run into things that happen to you. Um, and I wrote through all of those things that happened to me: rape, sexual assault, abuse in different forms, um, yeah, just trying to heal the world in a big city, and then things happen to you when you're out at night. Like there's a lot of things, and so I wrote through all of that. um Now I went off on a tangent and forgot your initial question, but here it is. When COVID happened, and I heard the statistic for women, the domestic violence phone calls went up 60%. Everything just kind of made sense. It's like, okay, I have written through such emotions and feelings. And so, who am I to keep these words on my living room floor on all of my pages when they can actually be helping somebody else?
Hmm.
And that's what sparked no matter how dark the stain. And metaphysically speaking, again, where there is light, there can be no darkness. We can't be happy and sad at the same time. And so it's really important to shine light on the darkness. And
Hmm.
what I learned as a yoga teacher, how I got this confirmation is as a yoga instructor, when you lay down and you're quiet, and I've seen this happen to the yoga students. So you lay down and you're quiet and you try and just like have a moment of peace, but you don't know what's going to come into your mind. It might be some unhealed trauma, it might be a past event, and it's scary for people and they don't know where to put it. And psychology is just like a filing system in your mind. It's where you put things. And what I find with no matter how dark the stain is that as women, we do experience these things. But being a woman has its own blend of things that we have to navigate. And I find no matter how dark the stain gives words to those experiences, but as you're reading the words, the poet writes at one point, and then the reader reads at another point, but both are transformed. And
Right.
that's the whole idea. Where there's light, there can be no dark. If you can find words for those experiences, you are healing. And it happens in an instant. So, as it took me a long time, like that sexual assault process, just as one example, that was a lot of years for me. Infant loss, like I had to bury my son. It took 8 years before I could even say that I had a son that passed away. And so the dis-ease takes a long time, but trust me when I say the healing can happen in an instant. And that's what no matter how dark the stain is about, because no matter how dark, and I've had 7 miscarriages, I've buried a son, rape, sexual assault, court cases. I don't know everything, but I've experienced some things, and I can tell you as I sit here today that The healing happens in an instant. You are not what happens to you, you're what you do with it. And so
Mm.
I'm blessed for all of those things. They might sound heavy or that people can't handle them, but you can. And we're made for dark things. And there is so much love inside you.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thanks for having a show where I can.
Mm. Thank you.
It
And
works both ways, right? Like,
right.
yeah, it works both ways, and hopefully makes the world a lighter place to live in.
Yeah, because my next question actually was that I really love your quote, only with darkness can we realize we are the light. So how can we find that light when we are struggling so much?
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes when you're struggling and you can't find the light, you're it. You're actually it. Yeah, and it sucks. And it really, and I'm not going to pretend that it's easy or anything, but maybe if you just don't see any light, maybe it's because you're it. And here's a way to kind of expand on that. What you focus on expands. These are just laws of nature. And maybe you just write down on a piece of paper or even toilet paper if you're listening to this in the bathroom. Just maybe you just write, I am the light, or I am the light of the world. And that's a start. You know,
Right.
in Zen, my Zen Buddhist studies, I found there's a saying, start where you are. And that's it. If you're in pain, if you're cut, if you had an accident, if you've lost a baby, whatever it is for you, whatever that is, just start there. This
Mhm.
is where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah, I can relate to that. I went through some trauma myself, as you may know from our previous talks. And it took so many years to discover what was actually going on with me and honoring the fact that I was scared because I wanted to plow through and work through and think my fear away when all I had to do was actually sit a moment, feel it, acknowledge it, and then go on from there because it just wanted to be heard. My fear wanted to be heard and held.
Yeah.
And then I could move on from there. And that was exactly start where you are. That was what my start was.
Yeah. So it really is a really, I don't think we're taught this in school. I think in school we're taught like you do this and you're good, you do that and you're bad, and just go to school, get your degree, get your man, have the babies, you'll be happy. But I think what's happening now is the consciousness has risen, we've expanded, we're aware of the heart center, and we're all feeling the frequencies and vibrations. And my Zen Buddhist teacher said to me once, if you're sad, Andrea, just be sad. Why don't you just be sad? And I was like, oh, because I thought I had to change that, and I had to be happy all the time, or like be positive and not say negative things. But you know what? It doesn't help anything. That's Martin Luther King says there's a point where the silence turns into violence. And when we're not accepting the scared or the what we're told from culturally and what's around us is negative, then we're missing half our life.
Yeah.
You know,
And I think the label of those emotions being negative, they're just an emotion that has to be felt.
just nature.
Yeah.
Nature. It's how I see it today. I just break it down as nature. I try to not say the words good and bad, which is really hard practice. But it's just nature. And what I realized from no matter how dark the stain, and like the main message that I come on the podcast for is to tell people that the dark parts of your life and the light are both love.
Mhm.
It's both.
Right.
You're both. Like you're still love. And love
Exactly.
wins. I mean, if you've watched Spider-Man, if you've watched any movie, here's the good guy always wins. The love wins. The Matrix. This is the hero's journey. This is Joseph Campbell, The Power of Myth. Love always wins. Um, but when you don't see any light, you don't know that. So, but it takes listening to people like you who have the show or my book. Like the books really pulled me through.
Mhm. And
Really
how
pulled.
important is self-compassion in this process?
Mm. Self compassion is cultivated for sure.
Mhm.
I think it's a seed inside of us that's not watered or taught how to water.
Right.
And but I think once I started to read like Thich Nhat Hanh books, like Being Peace, Peace is Every Step, I was like, oh, there's a whole other way to live here.
Mhm.
Um, and in Zen, they say there's 72 seeds inside of you. And so we all have the seeds inside of us of hatred, greed, compassion, love, kindness. But it's what seeds are you watering, right? And
Mm.
so it's a conscious choice. Each day and in each moment, we have a new choice. Each moment is fresh to choose to water the seeds of compassion inside of us.
Mm. That's brings us back to like what you focus on expands.
What you focus on expands. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
as a
which
yoga
is a
teacher,
beautiful thing. Which is a
yeah,
beautiful. It makes it easier
yeah,
because you think that living a life of love is really really hard, but there's this magic that happens when we talk about magic. Is the world opens for you.
mhm,
It's like you take one step in the direction of love, and then this pathway opens and you see all this beauty. So it's not like you sludging all the way through. The universe welcomes that and pours you with these beautiful things, like
mm,
moments that are confirmation that
yeah,
you're doing it. And that's what it's like, fuel to keep going.
yeah.
So amazing, so amazing.
And as a yoga teacher yourself, what are the benefits of, well, I call it a lifestyle. What are the benefits of a yogic lifestyle?
Oh, there's the five precepts, which is a way of living. There's five ethics. There's no yoga without ethics. Himsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, and Aparigraha in Sanskrit. But honesty, non-stealing, the wise use of sexual energy, non-violence. There's a code of ethics. And that's a good basis if you don't know yourself or if you're lost or even if you just want to start something new, a new way of living. These are the basics of how you conduct yourself, your actions, the things you eat, what you buy, right? So there's ethics. Then there's the four noble truths of Buddhism that yoga introduces, which is life is suffering, and there's causes of that suffering, and there's an end to that suffering, and it offers an eightfold path like right thinking, right actions, right meditation, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right? So there's steps and a pathway to follow.
Mhm.
And what I find miraculous is that it allows you, so all day long we go through life and the reactions that we have to everything that comes up, those reactions are ancestral. They're our default program. But with yoga, then you can see that. Wait a minute. Okay, right actions, right livelihood. Life is suffering, non-violence. Okay, there's a pause.
Mhm.
Or in a yoga practice, maybe take an extra breath. But what happens in that space, that pause, or that extra breath, is creativity. And in that moment is where you make the choice. It's not life happening, less reactivity, more creativity.
Mhm.
Creation, creativity is love, is compassion, is nature. And so we start to align, or one can start to align with that true essence of who we are.
Yeah, and that pause is so important because it creates a difference between reacting and responding. And I love that you
Mm.
can create that sacred moment for yourself where you're like, okay, what do I really think? Instead of your automatic reaction to something that may not even be truly yours.
Yeah, so knowing there's an automatic default method, knowing that it's ancestral. Okay, so I'm not sleeping at night. Well, who in my family's not sleeping at night? Oh, my grandpa had insomnia. Okay, that's not mine. Okay, so how can I be now, right? So responsibility, having an ability to respond, right?
Mm.
So yeah, but there needs to be a practice to get inside that. There needs to be that moment, that okay, take an extra breath, or maybe the daily practice. This is the whole point of Deeper Days. My second book that was bestseller in yoga is just taking a minute each day to strengthen your mental muscles, that mental ability to come back to. It has a mantra for each day, but if you can bring attention back to that one spot, you stay connected from your head to your heart all day long. And it's from the heart that you make that creative choice, that you can cultivate who you want to be
Mm.
next, or how you can serve the world. How can I help? These kinds of things.
It's really a moving with intention.
Yeah, setting your sail in the direction that you want to go, because you're moving anyway. So you're paying a price no matter what, all day long. You're still getting to tomorrow if you have one, if you're blessed to have one. You're still getting there. So how are you getting there? And if you're not adding the meaning to each day, what is? Your email, your socials? What is that, right? So it's like, really, it's a practice of self inquiry. Byron Katie does a lot of work like that, or Katie Byron, sorry, does a lot of work on self inquiry. So, this is what I did to transform. This is what A Course in Miracles offers each day. And then during COVID, when my yoga studio was closed down, Ganga Moon Yoga, is when I wrote Deeper Days. So my yoga students had something super easy. So all of my teachings, all of the wisdom that I was taught, just made it really, really easy into Deeper Days. So it's 365 yoga inspirations for inner calm amidst chaos. And just take it. I have the book set up at the coffee pot, right? So at the coffee pot, I read the self inquiry, the little couple lines, and after, we are always in motion. Life is a dance. This is day 177. We are always in motion. Life is a dance. So if you can come back to we are always in motion. Life is a dance. There's your spot. There's where you're not reacting.
Right.
Now my next move, I'm creating it, because it's not on the scroll, it's not on like, oh, automatic default, right?
Mm.
So amazing. But it's easy now. And it's easy now to have a practice because our consciousness has risen. We're awake. Like we can see what's happening in the world. It's in our living rooms now. We know that we have tools. We know that we can use our mind. So it's like, isn't it time in your life that your mind is on your side? Like, imagine your mind is actually on your side to reach your goals.
Oh, yeah.
Like, those are the books I want to read. Those are the songs I want to hear sung, because we haven't heard them yet.
Yeah.
These are the women from No Matter How Dark the Stain that are scared in the bathroom hiding from somebody, and just thinks that they're nothing. It's not true. Your love, your destiny, no matter how dark. And you can add meaning to each day.
Mm. I truly believe the same, and I thank you for sharing those words already.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. And in your book, Stillness in the Storm, it highlights the power of stillness, and I would love to know a bit more about that and how important that is.
Yeah, I was just thinking that as we were talking, because it really, no matter how dark the stain, so shining light on every experience you have, right? Just accepting all of it, right? And then deeper days is so. I didn't know this writing the book. I didn't know. I thought I couldn't be an author because my books were not related. And my publisher was like, well, but you're the author of every book. So they are all related. It's
Right.
you. And I was like, oh man, more self work, right? So I'm like, oh, what does this mean? So first, you uncover the dark, no matter how dark, right? Shine light on all of it, accept all of it. Deeper days. So when you take that moment, there's a saying, a Zen saying, there's three moments. You take that pause. If you can remember and come back to your breath just for that moment, guess what? You can do it again and again. So then you have three breaths like that. And that's stillness. That's stillness. And my third book is Stillness in the Storm, and it's a conscious daily journal of yoga and spiritual healing. I had no idea it would be a #1 bestseller, but what a moment that was. But here, there's some space where you can write. Because when you're still, what happens is it's not silent. This is what I found out. Like, the stillness is actually speaks to you. When you're still, because we have an inner intelligence, we have an inner wisdom. And so there's space in this book to write, but there's also my words in the book as I would teach a yoga class, so that you can go behind those cages that the mind creates, those stuck thoughts. So it penetrates through, and then there's space for you to write, because when you write, it's a force. It's like opening a gateway, and your inner song, that destiny that's always speaking to you, has a place to release and to flow, and you can really find yourself and know who you are in stillness. I lost a best friend and a great love. And I say lost, but I don't really think anything's lost. I think it's all here still and love. But it was a painful time for me, a surprising time. And I had two choices, I felt. One, I could go back into victimhood, because I know all about that and the bags of chips and ice cream that go with it. Or I could just embrace the stillness right now. And so I did a deep dive, and I was still for about a year, and I like not talking to people. This is like full stillness from everything. And that's where that book was written from. And that's how I can say that to other people and offer that to other people. That they're like an acorn turns into an oak tree. The acorn cannot turn into a mango tree, right? That's so
Right.
weird. There's an inner intelligence there. And we have that inner intelligence. And with a practice of being still, or even just going to a yoga class, this might look like, maybe it just looks like 5 minutes of meditation for you a day, or after, whatever, like the practice is to get you there. When you're quiet, your inner heart song is singing. Your inner intelligence is speaking to you. It is so amazing.
Yeah. And the power of writing words down.
Whew.
Oof.
I think I'd be dead. I think I'd be, yeah. Like, I hope I never break my right hand, because I don't know what I would do.
You will have to learn to write with your left.
Right? Yeah. Well, I guess we have voice to text and all that. I don't know how to work any of it. I still write, but the power of writing, oh, it's a force. It's an actual force. But I think, like anything, what you focus on expands. So that's what I was saying earlier. Even if you just write, I am the light. I am the light of the world. Like something is happening. There's more to what you're doing than just writing that down. You're calling on the divine.
You're
You're
rewriting your
allowing.
neural pathways, I think, because when you say it and you write it, it becomes your reality.
Your sacred geometry, your connection to the divine. You're activating it. Just that
Mhm.
pen on the paper. Yeah.
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 Well,
That's
my
what
last
they,
question is,
yes.
sorry, my last question is always the same, and that is, when do you feel most divine?
Oh, when I'm, I don't know. So conversations like this lately are really, um, so I'm a bit clairvoyant, a bit mediumish at this point in my life. And for me, it feels like firecrackers going off. I'm really finding that having conversations like this and being able to share is really sparking divine light for me. Prior, I would say just being quiet is when I feel most divine. And that's when I write. So,
I hope
yeah,
you write many more and inspire.
it's changing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, me too. Me too. I think we have a long way to go before we love too much. So,
Yeah. Every day we get a bit closer, right?
every day we love, and that's it. Yeah, I think there's nowhere to get to. We're already here,
Mhm.
and this is a happy moment.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.